Welcome to the 29th episode of the Super Parent Podcast with your host, Dr. Nick Fanning. Today's topic is reward yourself.
Parenting in the 21st century is ever evolving. And while you balance work, kids, and your sanity, it's easy to feel discouraged. Welcome to the Super Parent Syndrome with your host, Dr. Nick Fanning.
Hey parents, Dr. Nick Fanning here with another episode of the Super Parent Podcast, and we are going to be talking about rewarding yourself. And what I mean by that is, man, we work so hard, and yet we clearly like to beat ourselves up when we fail, and yet we don't do the same thing to celebrate when we win. And that is such an incongruency. If we're going to allow ourselves to beat ourselves up and call ourselves nasty names inside of our head about, well, you know, what a big failure you are, or we can't do anything right when we fail, why aren't we doing the opposite when we actually win? And so what I want to talk to you today about is setting rewards. In fact, I want you to take your top 5 goals, top 3 goals, top 1 goal, whatever it might be, and I want you to come up with a reward if you actually fulfill it. And a big thing here is on consciously choosing those things. Now, we can have great days, we have great things happen to us, or things that we achieve that were just surprise us out in the open. But at all times, we should have 1 or 2 things that we set aside to really be able to pat ourselves on the back. And it might be something like maybe helping Junior out with their spelling words. And if Junior gets an A in spelling at the end of the year, how are you going to reward yourself because of all the extra time you spent with him or her? Or maybe it's the big test that they might doing, and we help them celebrate, and we might reward them, but often we forget to do the same thing for us. Now, case in point, one of those really tough things that a lot of my clients have is losing weight. Or it might be getting ready for a high school reunion, or it might be saving, having $1,000 in the bank, whatever it might be. Now, a big thing with that is that we never attach anything positive to it, and the whole experience gets really rough. It's like subconsciously, we don't want to lose anything. So trying to lose 100 pounds is very tough for our brains to compute. Now, if your goal is, I want to get healthier, or I want to be able to do 25 push-ups, or I want to be able to do a 5K, and as a result, hopefully I lose those 25 pounds, then that's a lot easier for your brain to compute. It's something to work towards versus working to lose. And so that's why it's so important for us to attach a reward, because if we're still stubborn and we still say, okay, I need to get to 8% body fat, and let's say I'm sitting at 28% body fat. Well, then I have to say that you're going to want to really set aside a really great reward along the way to help motivate you, to help you work towards it. And it might be new clothes. It might be a fancy trip. It may be, a special night out. But the big thing there is really choose your rewards carefully, because one of those things that we like to reward ourselves with often is food. And I say, you're not a dog. Do not reward yourself with food. And so what it comes down to is, what are you really truly hungry for, and go for it. So folks, that's what your homework is. This is a really short episode. What I want you to do is take your top goals, and I would say no more than 5, and either list out the goal, figure out what it needs to be done by, figure out some action steps for that, and then attach a reward to it so that you can go big or go home. One of the biggest goals that I have is that I have a couple fitness goals, and if I reach those fitness goals, then I'm going to allow myself to beg, borrow, and steal, reinvest, use credit cards. I don't know, any which way I possibly can to reinvest in this program called Warrior Week through Garrett J. White. And if you haven't checked that out, I really suggest you check out that podcast, guys. It is really niched for men, married businessmen. But ladies, you're going to find a lot of positives with it too. It is pretty raw. It's very authentic. You're going to get a lot of great value out of it. But it is intense. And so that's one of those things that I'm going to reward myself with, because it's one of the things that I want to become more congruent in 2016 is to increase my health so I can be a positive role model for the people around me. So this is Dr. Nick Fanning. I've been raw, authentic with you. I hope you can do the same with me. If you haven't done so, go ahead and go to our website, Pep Talk for Parents, sign up for our free newsletter, and make sure that you leave any comments or questions there so that way we can improve this podcast every single day. Dr. Nick Fanning, signing off.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Super Parent Syndrome. Please be sure to visit peptalksforparents.com for more content and our free newsletter. And remember, you are not alone.